by saying nonviolent, she's saying something did happen, but wasn't that bad. So I think that opens the door for, and Deshaun's camp already came out and said, I think it was like last week they said it, they're going to use the Big Ben suspension as their defense, which again, that's a good move to either keep the 6 game or have it lowered, because Big Ben was allegedly, if you ask all the Steeler fans, that something happened.
Well, this is the thing, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. And listen, this might get a hot take, and this might get people upset or mad or whatever. But so be it. When it comes to everything that happened, first of all, like Deshaun has from the start said, that on everything, and also a lot of things I see people saying now about him, like, oh well, guilty people don't settle in court. If anybody remembers, Deshaun did not want to settle. He didn't want to settle, and he didn't want any NDAs. He didn't want any non-disclosure agreements. He didn't want any of that. He wanted to fight every single case that was coming up to him in court. And again, I think it started off with the 1 or 2, and then it jumped to 4.
Yeah,
and then from then on, it snowballed out of there. So again, out of the 26 cases or whatever, one can reasonably assume, and this is just on the assumption, that not all of them were legitimate accusations.
Yeah, but not 25 of them.
So, and then here's the other thing too. With all the evidence that was presented in his hearings with Judge Sue Robinson, the NFL put forward 4 cases. These were considered the 4 strongest cases, the most believable cases, the cases that had the most evidence to support them, in which that something nefarious had happened. And in these cases, Judge Sue Robinson came out and said that while there was more than likely inappropriate behavior, there was nothing that crossed the line as far as violence or sexual assault. So you have that. Then you also have the grand juries that looked at his cases in Texas, and you had 2 grand juries come back without any indictments on them based on the evidence in the case. But 2 of the cases that are considered to be the strongest and best cases.
But here's the thing, though, and this is the other thing I don't understand, and maybe, again, it's the wrong way to think about this, but if you truly feel you're innocent, why settle? Push it to the point. Because here's the other thing, too, because there were 26 cases. Now, here's the other thing, too. Deshaun didn't want to settle. He did not. Remember that. You have to put that out there. He did not want to settle any of the cases. I believe that it was, again, his lawyer, and I'm going to imagine probably the Browns and the NFL, too, probably wanted him to settle, simply because of the fact, too, just based on a litigious factor, like having all those cases he'd be in court for 30 years. Yeah, but I mean,
each one of those cases would have to be heard.
Yeah.
So you'd be in court for literally ever.